Shouldn't have said that. Beyond the flash, it's got huge. I just want to get a little bit vulnerable for a second. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm in the studio because I've got an idea that I want to create. It's been a long few months of some health issues, chronic pain, but I'm back and I want to create like I used to create, and that is just spontaneously in the studio, me with an idea, my equipment, and just letting it flow. And so today I thought I would bring you along on the little journey of me in the studio. So this is a jumper that my mum made for me probably about 2-3 years ago. It's actually been through the wash a few times, which if you know about knitting and wool, it shouldn't really go through the wash. It should be hand washed and dried, but it's been through the wash, and to be honest, the first few times it was actually fine. It's a very soft material. As it's gone through the wash a few more times, it's got huge. I don't know if you can see it. It's absolutely massive. And I was trying to shrink it. I put it on quite a high heat wash and it didn't shrink. So I put it in the dryer. 2 hours I think it was on at quite a high heat. And again, it didn't shrink. And the amount of times that I've bloody shrunk like cardigans and things over the years, and then when I actually want to shrink something, it doesn't shrink. Anyway, the point is, I've got an idea for it, and I think I might put a wig on because my hair is a little bit all over the place today. I don't really want to shoot with my own hair. I want to have it so that the arms are like super long and like dragging on the floor or swishing around. And I also want to create the backdrop the same colours as this. So this is going to be quite a heavy Photoshop job. But I'm really, really happy to be back. I've been struggling with my thyroid. My medication's been going up and down. It's essentially extreme fatigue. I'm either very, very cold, and that makes me even more tired. And it also is like joint pain. But I've also been struggling with my back. I've been for an MRI and I've actually got a disc bulge in my back, which if you've got one of them, or if you've ever had one of them, please let me know and how it improves, because I've had it for about 2 years now and it's not improving. It's very painful. But obviously that mixed with my thyroid issue, my hormones are all over the place. I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a bit of a hard time, and all I've wanted to do is get creative. But when you've got a bad back and you can't sit down at your computer for a long period of time, which obviously my job requires, and then you are extremely tired, it's a concoction for a disaster of a day. Sometimes I cannot function. On the days that I can function, like today, I'm going to embrace being in here. First thing that I need to do is get the backdrop out. I was thinking about going for a pink backdrop so that I could make the colours of this in the background. That is kind of my idea and where I'm going with this, because I want to make it a bit more like a checkerboard background, which makes me think I should probably do a white background and then edit it in Photoshop. Okay, so the backdrop that I've got down is actually blue. I thought it was going to be white, which is not a problem. I'm going to sort of even out all the colours anyway. Potentially, that might work. Let's shoot it and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to get my Manfrotto tripod, because this is the best to shoot with because it's super sturdy. So I've got the Sony A7 IV with 35mm Zeiss 1.4. This is what I usually shoot my long portraits with. So this keeps slipping forward. This is from my spider belt. I don't understand what's going on here. It keeps falling forward. So I'm not really sure where I need to put this yet. So just connecting my camera again, as always, via the tether tools cable. So you might have noticed that I'm actually carrying this Rode mic. I don't want to put it on me. I usually have a lav which I attach, but then I've also got this new Rode mic which I'll show you. So these are the Rode Wireless Go Mark 1. I've had these for a few years now. I love them for my big cameras. The quality of the sound is so nice, even though I think at the start of this video I think I'd got the levels a little bit wrong, but obviously that just needs a bit of changing. But I just love the quality of these Rode mics. I decided to go and get some new mics because I want to film for TikTok. I got the Rode Wireless Micro, which is super small and it's so good. I cannot even express how good this is. As you can see, I've got one on here. This is actually clipped to me via a magnet. I can't actually do that with these because it's just got a little clip here. So this is absolutely brilliant because I can actually attach this to my top via a little magnet. Hopefully I'm getting you shot. So the little magnet goes on the back here, and then you've just got the microphone on the front. It's actually got a clip as well, so you could clip it on if you want to. It also comes with these little dead cats, which just clip on over the top. Oops, and mine's just fallen off that one. That's actually something I don't like about this one, is it just keeps falling off. But this is just a realistic review. I'm actually not getting paid to say this or anything. I just wanted to show you. So yeah, the little dead cat actually just goes over the top of that, which is really handy. It also attaches, as you can see, to the iPhone. So it just comes like that. Plugs into the iPhone, super easy. It comes with two, which is really good. It's also good for when I'm filming. If I run out of charge with one, then I can just replace it and get the other one out. So I'll always have one on hand. This is actually a charging case, so you actually charge it via the case, which is really good. But the other thing just literally slots in there. Let me show you. Just slots in there like that, and it's tiny. I love it. But yeah, it just plugs into my iPhone and it's just ready to go. With these ones, which I've had in the past, I know the Rode Wireless Go Mark 2s are really good with iPhones, but you have to get like cables, the cables dangle. It's just very annoying. I was looking at the DJI ones, but I ended up going with Rode because I really like the sound of Rode. So yeah, I just stuck with what I knew. Just really like it. We've had a little bit of a change of lighting situation. I've scrapped the Octobox and the flash, and we're going with the continuous light. I've been wanting to use continuous light for so long. I was at the photography show the other week, and there was a photographer there called April Alexander, and she was talking about beyond the flash, continuous light, working with continuous light, and she was on the Amaran Creators stage, I believe, or she was sponsored by Amaran, which I've had a look at those lights, and I've always used Aperture, but I think and I believe that they are the baby company of Aperture, the more affordable side of things. The Aperture lights are quite expensive. I mean, they are amazing lights. This one has never done me wrong. In fact, I absolutely love it. I wanted to get a bit more movement in the studio. When I was shooting outside, and when you're shooting with available light, you can actually just like play around. I felt like my work has been a little bit stale and contrived recently, so I think we're going to play around with the arms of this and just get a bit more like, you know, just a bit more freedom of like movement and maybe a little bit of a blur, because I've been missing shooting with like a lower aperture, and obviously with continuous light you can actually shoot with a lower aperture. So yeah, I'm really excited. So thank you, April, for inspiring me to do this shoot today. I finished shooting. I'm going to take this wig off because it's very itchy right now. I just want to get a little bit vulnerable for a second. I have been really struggling to be creative recently due to some health issues. Been struggling with feeling myself. I've had some skin rash issues as well, which has meant that I've been a bit self-conscious of my face and my body. Obviously, as a self-portrait artist, it's really hard to like put yourself in front of a camera all of the time, especially when you're not feeling your best. So I just wanted to come into the studio today because I felt like I needed to like just release some creative energy. I think with the wig and the jumper as well, I just wanted to sort of like release some of that pressure that I put on myself of like looking and feeling my best at all times, and you have to feel great when you're shooting. My art is about shooting what I feel, and I feel at the moment that I just needed to get something out to kind of like bridge that gap of like being a person and being an artist. I struggle with that sometimes, and I don't know if you do, so let me know in the comments if you do as well. Yeah, I just wanted to release some energy and just be a little bit free and have some just fun with my body, and like not have any like pressures of how my hair looked and how my face looked. Embrace what it is to be in front of the camera, but without all the pressures that I put on myself. And whether that's hiding in a wig and a big jumper, that's what I need to do at the moment, so I'm happy with that. It's okay to hide in a big jumper and a wig. It's a few days later now. I've actually shared all my content about them online already, and I've had some really lovely feedback. So pleased with the outcome of the first image. I knew one main outcome that I wanted was to have the sleeves dangling on the floor. I'm super pleased with the way that this shoot unravelled. I think it's exactly what I wanted to say. And I love that when the shoot comes together, because it just feels authentic and it feels like it's come from within without being too contrived. And that's kind of what I was wanting to get away from, obviously. I did a little bit of generative fill with the ball of wool on my head. I named this series Nitpicking, and it's a little bit of a nod to what my brain does. I also changed my hair colour slightly to a pink because the red was slightly throwing me off when I was editing because the pink was kind of clashing with it. I think I said at the beginning of this video that I wanted to change the colour of the background. When I actually opened it up in Photoshop, I was like, this blue is working really well. So I decided that I was just going to keep the blue, because it just felt rich, like extreme and bold, and that's kind of what I wanted to go for this series. So it didn't feel like it was like a powerful standalone image. I felt like I needed a bit of a story to like lead the viewer through. So the next image is this one, which is with my arms over my, well, it's kind of like I was thinking about hugging myself when I was shooting this. So I added in the knitting needles to both sides and then the knitting needles in my hair to kind of simulate the look of like my hair being knitted. Again, just to sort of nod to nitpicking what I do in my brain when I'm feeling a bit insecure. Also wanted to show the story of how these long knitted arms that are touching the floor were made and the journey of that. The next image, I just loved the way that I was like facing backwards. I actually loved that shape. It just fitted in the story. And then I just loved this image with my arms, you know, over my head. I felt like it was just adding to the weight of what I was feeling, weighed down with the arms of the jumper. This image was actually quite zoomed out. I actually cropped it quite closely because I wanted to show the bold colours. And I added kind of like a little bit of a glow effect by just touching down the clarity and texture sliders in Lightroom. It kind of feels a bit nostalgic. And then the final image is this one, again, just to show the arms being knitted, the colours. I liked how there was 3 prongs of the knitting needles coming out of the head, and obviously the ball of wool being a different colour as well. This kind of patchwork jumper is different colours, and I wanted to show the different colours, and like obviously go back to the first image, you've got the blue and the greens. It really has been so satisfying for me. I'm so pleased with how this has come out, and I just feel so good and authentic, and it felt right. I don't feel stale or stiff or like halted at all. I just feel like I've got like more of a freedom with it. But yeah, if you want to go see those pieces of content, they're all on my Instagram and TikTok. I did kind of like a 7-part series of me creating it. I mean, obviously you've seen it on here, so, but this is a bit more of a long form like explanation. If you want to go see a snippet or revisit it sometime, then just head to my Instagram. So yeah, what's next for me? I feel like I'm just going to carry on using continuous lighting. The next image that I've got in mind, I've actually already ordered a prop for it. So that brings me nicely on to the red project. I've been teasing this project for way too long, but I've got a bit of a complicated relationship with it. It might require me just to do it, but I feel like because I was feeling a bit stale with everything, and obviously the colour project is something that is kind of a vein through my life anyway, and it has been for the past 5 years, it kind of just been sitting in the background a little bit whilst I explore other options. Hence why I've been creating all this other different type of work over the past year. I just felt like I needed to pause it. I've been working on the colour project, like I say, for 5 years. Each project is very intense and very intensive work. And this one in particular, the concept behind it, which will obviously unravel as I create this project, and you'll see it more on here because I will definitely be documenting that now. Yeah, the concept behind it is quite a deep one for me, and navigating a way to produce it without it being too like invasive of my own like insecurities. This project, obviously the nitpicking project, was kind of a little bit of a way to show my whole body again and just to feel comfortable. The knife, fork and spoon is very much hanging up in this studio, and it will not move until I'm shooting it. Kind of there as a bit of a reminder to think about this project. It's just one of those things at the moment where I'm probably overthinking it a bit too much, but I feel like it needs that from me. Sometimes with projects you either do them very spontaneously like I just did this one, but also the colour project requires me to really think about it and requires a lot of time, especially with the colour project, because it's one of those where I am putting literally a chapter of my life within each image. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that a little bit because I felt like I sometimes do this thing where I say that I'm going to do something and then I'm like, oops, shouldn't have said that. I probably should have done the work first and then said that I'm going to do it. But yeah, I just want to be a bit more open on here, give my thoughts, feelings, what I'm up to. My life revolves around this studio, but also my partner, my family, my dogs, my friends, and the garden. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little breakdown. Actually, just before I go, I want to show you this very amazing cardigan that my mum made. She knitted this as well. She's a very talented lady. We did actually get this as an inspiration off of Pinterest. So apologies, I don't remember who created this pattern. Took the pattern and used it as inspiration, and I'm absolutely obsessed. But yeah, I really like it. In my latest photographic story, Nitpicking, I stepped into the studio and put myself in front of the camera at a time I wasn't feeling my best. My insecurities were on show, yet hidden beneath the weight of the jumper and the disguise of the wig. Movement was intentional and texture was welcomed. The soft wool reflects those tender moments, while the sharp needles echo the sting of self-critique. Each vibrant hue contrasts the internal battles coming together to create a tapestry of vulnerability. This series is an exploration of the self, an attempt to sit within each version of me, even the uncomfortable ones. A reminder that insecurity, though heavy, can unravel into something honest. Sometimes it's the loose threads that can reveal the most.